Okay, Lauren, I'm going to spotlight you for everybody.
Sorry, I can't move my shoulder that easily.
That's okay.
Oh, wow.
That looks amazing.
So I'm also waiting to see what happens because the cable's growing on me, but I still think that it's too chunky if it's going to be the only cable section. So I want to see what Clue 3 has, and if the cable section if that's the only cable section, then I'm going to change it to maybe like that lattice lace pattern that he did instead of the brioche last year.
Yeah.
Put that in just to open it up a bit.
Yeah.
Because yeah. So I'm going to finish this and I'm done for the week.
Yeah.
But it has been very slow going. Besides the fact that I can't knit for long, I haven't had the time to knit.
Okay.
I don't like the way it looks like such a contrast between Clue 1 and Clue 2.
Textual contrast.
Won't you just hold yours out again, Lauren?
It's a textural contrast.
And
but also
the
color
contrast.
Yeah. Well, mine tones nicely because the blue and the green are obviously tonally the same. And then my pop was a variegated. So it's, kind of blends. And I've seen a lot of people who've done that. The ones that have really looked yuck are the ones like his that are like so different that they just don't work. I've seen Knitting Fiona. Remember she did that one that was all the blues and greys last year?
Yes.
Her one looks amazing. Okay. It really looks beautiful. And she's gone for similar colors again.
Okay.
So I kept them sort of in the same color family, but just different intensities, which looks really nice.
Yeah, the whole thing is, I'm finding it quite interesting. Just the fact that so many of us are really struggling with how the colors have put together. To me is, I understand that it's a mystery shawl, but you should be feeling it as you go along. And Jane and I did a lot of scrolling the Facebook group, looking at pictures over the weekend and just going at things that we saw. And so it's quite interesting. I'm just finishing my row and then I'll go and get
I must say, I'm not on the Facebook group, but looking on Instagram, I've kind of felt like he's taken every possible knitting technique and thrown it into one shawl. Yeah. And we kind of like having to plod along. And I do feel that I was more excited last year about shawlography and how it all worked together. And if I,
and the colors were so much better.
But everything seemed to work. Like if I think of like Sue, when we added in that hot pink, which was a complete contrast to what she had, it worked. Bridget, with all her different colors, it worked. Like if I took those, 3 of those colors of your shawl last year, they wouldn't work this year.
No.
It's almost like the ones that stand out to me are the ones that have gone sort of neutrals or tonals.
Very, very little contrast is a lot better than lots of contrast.
I find with this one, what I've seen is like it's a very stark contrast of geometric and natural. And as a result, it pulls your eye in a very disjointed way. It's not balanced.
I think this shawl would work really well if you did it in one color. Maybe different weights so that you've got like the first section, if you did it in Jane shaking her head, did it in like kid silk or and then the sock. So you've got because there's so much texture, you kind of losing a lot of it because your eyes drawn to the color, or you're looking at all the texture and your eyes losing the color.
Yeah. And
I almost feel like I must take the main color, which in my case is a sort of plum, and use that for the side bit rather than the pale pink.
Well, I must say, it is quite interesting how all of the different things are coming together. Can we have a little look around at Kelly? You're knitting it, aren't you?
Yes, I'm very far behind. Oops.
Okay, so hold on 1 second.
Very far ahead, Kelly.
That's okay. Well, let's just go around and look at them all. Okay, so you're using charcoal and silver fox.
Charcoal and silver fox.
And then you've got that very subtle natural.
Very, very subtle. I don't know if you can see any.
A little bit of charcoal and a very faint hint of blue in it.
Yeah.
But I think that
very
works really,
very
nicely. Good, you're happy with it?
Very happy. I think it's lovely.
Good.
Gorgeous.
So I think that will be quite interesting because you've got much less contrast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you going to, Kelly, are you going to use your charcoal for your wings then?
I haven't looked that far ahead, to be honest.
Okay.
I think I'll have to have what do you think what should I use?
I just think if you want the stripes to stand out, you'll need to do the charcoal. I don't know what Bridget thinks.
Well, so what you're supposed to do is to use color, contrast color. So that would be the silver fox, and then use the accent
the
color.
Neutral.
Yes, and I think that they won't have a lot of color differentiation.
Difference.
Yeah. So, but because that's very similar to you, because your accent color is very similar to your contrast color, I mean, I think you can just mix them around and do it however you want. You could do the background of the wings in the charcoal and the stripes on the wings in the contrast color, but at least in the accent color, and then put the contrast
accent
box into the cables. Yeah, but also have a look and see how clue 3 shows up tomorrow, because it'll give you a better idea.
Yeah.
I've also found I prefer the look of cables when they're in a lighter color. I find cables just get lost in a darker color.
Yeah. So I can show you mine, which I'm really not happy with at all. So I have stopped. So I like what happened with the first section, and it's Cobalt and Air Force, but then the Cobalt was too much for me, so I didn't start with the background in the Cobalt, and I was going to use this Tina Turner, but I really don't like how that's working. So I stopped there, and I tried both the Cobalt and the Air Force as the sort of stripe color, and then I was going to start doing it with Silver Fox as my contrast color here, but I just gave up on that. So I'm going to wait until see what the clue looks like tomorrow, and then decide. I might go back to the Silver Fox as my contrast color. That's not too strong.
Bridget,
we'll see.
What if you do your Air Force where you have got the variegated at the moment, and then the lines in the variegated?
Yes. So I just ended up with too many combinations and permutations. I'm like, okay, I could try this and do that, and I could try this and do that. And I thought, let me just leave it and wait and see what happens. Yeah. What happens with the next one.
I like the Tina Turner, where you've got the Tina Turner.
Okay.
I still think mustard where you've got your solids. I just think it's going to...
I don't want mustard in here. I just don't want it. No. It's too strong. It's too strong.
Look like a dog's breakfast.
Yeah, I can't do it.
You won't wear it, Bridget.
No, I won't. And it's going to be quite interesting because Belinda is doing hers, I think, with guinea fowl and indigo is this, and then she's using mustard as her contrast color. So I'll get to see what hers looks like when she puts the wings in. But yeah, I won't wear it with the mustard.
She's doing corporate colors though, so she's got no choice. She has got to wear it.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Mom.
Mumsy, let's have a little look at yours.
Oh, pretty.
Yes, that's
Oh,
looking
I like that.
beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah, the plum and the orchid
Nice.
blush looks lovely.
Well, here's what's supposed to be the
The contrast.
contrast.
It's going to be
Yeah,
nice
just
and
wait and see.
Well, I haven't finished this bit, so
Exactly. So you can just wait and see what happens.
No offense to the rest of you, but Margaret and Kelly's colors are just epic.
Yeah.
it's a
Thank
hell
you.
of a lot of knitting. I mean, it's very slow knitting with counting and catching and doing this and doing that.
It's actually
Jeez.
quite tedious, this on off,
Yeah,
casting off,
It's-
casting on.
it's not smooth knitting. It's sort of change and chop and count and add and
Mm.
Yeah.
anyway, what can you do?
So can I show you some pictures that I just screenshotted a bunch of ones that I saw on the different groups. So this one,
that's very nice.
and I thought that was beautiful. So it's charcoal with a sort of speckled natural over here, and then the cobalt blue, and the speckled natural works quite well with the cables, I thought.
Mm.
So I thought that worked quite nicely. Oh, wrong way. And then this one, again, it's a sort of speckled natural here.
That's quite dramatic. Looks
Yes.
like a butterfly.
It does.
Yeah.
It's very dramatic.
Yeah.
So I thought that worked quite nicely. And then I thought this one didn't work at all.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yes.
horrible.
Yeah, so there's this yellow coming in here, and then
No.
yeah,
And
stripes
no,
on
what
the-
with the stripes and they like no. What
Mm-mm.
have they done? No.
so
Yellow. No.
yeah, the yellow just doesn't work, and then they've tried to bring
No.
the color in, and that for me doesn't work at all.
Mm.
No.
And then this
That
one,
works.
well, like I don't think that this works.
Mm-mm.
That's
Well,
too
at least you
bright.
can see what he's trying to do, you know, like with the
Yeah, I
stripes.
can, but
But it's just,
yeah,
but that with the pink and the orange is a bit intense.
yeah, it's very intense.
Yeah.
And then this one, also, the yellow is just incredibly intense.
Oh, it's quite
Very strong.
ooh.
Mm-mm.
And the black
also
or
I was-
whatever it is.
And in here, what I found with mine as well is that the way your colors show up here next to each other versus how it looks when it's on its own and against this pop changes so the black charcoal, whatever they've used here versus here, it just looks completely different, and it's
Yeah.
very strong contrast.
Mm.
It looks like the one is blue and the other one is black. You know?
Yeah.
It doesn't say.
That's nice. That I like because
So
they've
this one's
gone
better because
again-
these are not so different.
no, they're tonally different, but they're not. Yeah.
Yeah, they're,
Yeah.
they're very similar color, just different intensity, and that seems to work
Mm.
better. This might be knitting Fiona.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Her colors works.
So
Even the
again-
cables work.
Tonally similar, not
Yeah.
the intensity of difference and the color pop, and it works better.
Mm.
And you don't get that stark contrast between your first section and your second section on the
Mm.
same color.
Yeah. And then interestingly, so her contrast color is not a contrast.
Yeah.
And that, so it almost looks like she used the contrast color over here, not the alternate color, which is supposed to be the pop. And that to me seems to make it look a whole lot better.
Mm.
Yeah.
But I still feel those long stripes don't really match the cables. The two
Mm.
patterns don't match
Yeah.
each other.
It's weird. It's
So
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm waiting to see what he's going to do for the rest of that shawl because he's got to somehow join that cable to the rest of the shawl. And I just think that if it's not going to be like a zigzag cable, that cable pattern sort of zigzagging across the zigzags, it's just going to look too much. And
Well,
then
remember, we've got a clue 3 and a clue 4. So he could always do something that pulls it all together now, and then another cable that repeats along the bottom.
Yeah.
yeah, no, that I mean that I don't mind. You know, if you can see that there's some, but you're kind of not getting any feeling of fluidity in the pattern.
Yeah.
Cohesiveness.
Honestly, if I have to think of one word to describe this pattern, it's Frankenstein.
Okay, I was going to say yak.
Fucking Frankenstein.
Incredibly disjointed.
Yeah.
Very disjointed.
So if I don't like clue 3, my shawl is going to be this long. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to repeat the middle section again and join it and make a capelet.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And then make, you know, do like something here that will bring in the twisted rib stitch again, so it looks harmonious. And that will be my my make along contribution. But
Or just
when I
rip,
chose,
rip the
when
whole
I-
thing and do a foxtrot, because that's working really nicely.
when I
Isabel-
chose my colors, I really thought, okay, I should have gone for a bigger contrast with my pop. But now I'm so glad I didn't, because there's the same blue as the blue
Yeah.
there and the greens there. So it all that kind of blends together.
Yeah.
Isabel Kramer had a lovely shawl on Instagram this morning.
Yes,
And
I think I thought.
I thought, if this doesn't work, I'll rather knit that. Yeah.
So have we finished talking about twists and turns now?
There's one last thing.
About twists and
one
turns,
last thing.
yes. Because then
About
we're going to
twists and
stop
turns.
recording. I'm putting this all on Instagram, not on Instagram, on YouTube, just so you know.
I'm sorry, Stephen. I didn't mean to call your show a
Just being
Frankenstein
honest.
creation.
Yes, you did that.
Yes, I did.
You did.
I was chatting to May yesterday because she's really struggling. So she chose her main and her contrast are Orchid Blush and double check here. May is Orchid Blush and Mushroom.
Okay.
So it looks like
Yes,
that.
very subtle.
Very, very nice. As her pop, she chose Lemon.
Okay.
And she's like, hell no,
No, can't do that.
Not-
No.
mm-mm,
No.
not happening. So she was thinking either Sable,
Too close.
Sage,
Sage.
or I suggested she have a look at, well, she was also contemplating a Miriam Makeba, which I think would be stunning. But I told her, because she's leaning towards an orange. So I told her to have a look at Under Pressure.
Well, if she's leaning towards
an
an orange, then I would go terracotta. Not
Terracotta.
Yeah, but also I would think about aubergine as a strong color.
She wants orange.
But she wants orange. Then terracotta, not
She wants orange.
not carrot juice. And tell her to come join us on the WhatsApp group, because she get lots of encouragement and
Oh,
Advice and
yeah. It's let me just.
so you would say terracotta.
Hang on one second.
sympathy and
Yeah, I think if she definitely wants to put an orange, then terracotta, because the stronger contrasts just don't seem to work on
So
the.
I did
It's all to
my
wait and see
wedding
tomorrow.
shawl in mushroom and you can't really
And
see
sable.
on a better.
Under
No,
Pressure.
in mushroom and Under Pressure, and they went really well together.
Yeah.
And she's got
Lovely.
mushroom as her, I think it's her main.
Yeah. If then Under Pressure would be nice, because it's just got such a little bit of orange and is mostly quite neutral.
Exactly. But I'll tell her terracotta, Under Pressure, and I heard a sage somewhere.
Lose that lemon.
No, that lemon is gone.
Good.
And you, Rox, are you just surveying the situation?
I'm writing a shitty email. We're not in recording anymore, right? Yeah.
We are still recording. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording if we're not talking about. Okay, hold on one second. Recording stopped.